Who doesn't like Jif peanut butter? Who doesn't like peanut butter? I love peanut butter. I kind of eat it out of the jar, which is kind of a weird thing. My family thinks I'm strange. My daughter likes it too because she does it. So what am I talking about peanut butter for? Peanut butter and healthcare. They don't go together. It's not like peanut butter and chocolate, right? But there's an analogy I want to draw to peanut butter. When you go to buy peanut butter and you go to Kroger or Publix or Food Lion or Wegmans or wherever you are, when you go to buy peanut butter and you want Jif, you're going to pay a certain price for that, right? If you then go the next weekend and you want the same peanut butter and you go to Costco for the same peanut butter, isn't it a Costco or BJ's Wholesale Club? Isn't it usually cheaper per ounce? It's the same peanut butter. Now, yeah, you may have to get 2 jars instead of 1, but if you're eating a lot of peanut butter, it doesn't really matter. You're going to consume the peanut butter. But isn't it less expensive per ounce? Of course, it's wholesale. This is retail. Costco and BJ's is wholesale. Why is this important? Because when you're purchasing specifically group health insurance, there's lots of different benefits you can offer in a company, right? But specifically, when you're talking about the group health insurance plan, which is one of the biggest parts of your non-cash compensation, right? You're deferring income, top line revenue. In lieu of compensation, instead of paying people more money, you're deferring that and you're using that to buy an insurance package, a benefits package that adds value to your greatest asset, which are your employees, hopefully, right? So a lot of people feel that way. Your employees are the greatest asset. So you're deploying this investment into that asset, which is your employees. So it's non-cash compensation. Many companies, if you have less than 1,000 employees, probably less than 500 employees, somewhere in that range, there's no clear line. Many employers that I talk to, so I talk to CFOs, CEOs, HR directors, right? Many of them are still buying healthcare retail. Now, there's nothing wrong with this Jif. It tastes the same, but I am paying more for it. And one day when I realized years ago that I could get the same peanut butter at Costco for about maybe half or 30% off or 40% off, it was significant enough where I'd rather have 2 jars instead of 1 because I was going through it. I was consuming it anyways. I bought wholesale. And then I started doing that for paper towels and toilet paper and paper plates and all kinds of stuff, right? Certain things I still buy retail because I don't use that much of it, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with maybe overpaying a little bit because I don't need a year supply of deodorant, right? It lasts a long time. This is important when it comes to healthcare because so many companies, if you have less than 1,000 employees on your medical plan, or less than 500 employees on your medical plan, or somewhere between, like 25 employees enrolled to 500. In that range, what we call the small and mid-sized marketplace, many of you are still buying your benefits, your healthcare retail, which is more expensive. Now, you might have not heard this before, and it doesn't mean it's not true. It just means you haven't heard of it before. So what we've been doing, every single week I talk to a few new people, executives of companies, nonprofits, for-profits, construction, restaurants, dental offices, it doesn't matter. Different industries, different parts of the country, doesn't really matter. Because the Jif here in Virginia is the same Jif in California. The cost is different in California, or in Idaho, or in Maryland. It's the same Jif. It's priced a little differently, so your healthcare might be a little more expensive if you're in New York City versus Idaho, right? Because the cost of living, everything's a little more expensive, so you're gonna pay more for insurance, but many of you are still buying your healthcare retail. And one of the first things I say on my calls is, there's 3 things we're gonna talk about in this 15 to 20 minute call, and it's highly educational for them. It's not a pitch, it's not a sales pitch, because we don't know what tool to use to solve the problem. But what I say is, I'm gonna talk about 3 things, and the first thing is I'm gonna show you and talk to you about maybe you should be buying your healthcare instead of retail, you should be buying it wholesale. And would you like to learn how you can potentially save money on the same thing, the same peanut butter? And most people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard this before. I'm like, I'm glad we're talking. So learn the language of the industry. You're not gonna hear this talked about very often. So the key is get educated. The benefits spent at your company is your money. It's not your broker's money. The employees are your employees. They're not your broker's employees. The success or failure of your organization or your nonprofit or your for-profit entity that you work for is your responsibility, not your broker. Way too many people put that responsibility back to the broker and say, my broker handles that. Really? Your broker handles a $3 million annual business unit? You're spending $3 million a year and that's handled by your broker? That's not even an employee? You might want to rethink that. So learn the difference between retail and wholesale. Hope this helps. Check us out, millengroup.com.